Welcome to TradeTheMBI.com. My name is John Morgan. I want to introduce you to, well, a little bit of a new indicator. It's called the pink Dot Showme, and this is what a pink dot looks like. This happens to be the number representing this pink dot for this E-mini futures chart, 15-minute, and that's what this was really designed for, was a 15-minute chart for trading. You're going to see some other dots. This happened to be a gray dot and a yellow dot. Well, where the pink dot looks for a move higher, yellow dot looks for a move to the downside, and the little gray ones in between happen to reflect points where you can expect an opposite trend move, just really a quick one, or can be used as stops. Now within these overall setups, you're going to find the yellow dots happen to show up both at the top and the low down below it, and we can adjust those stop points. If I click them, you'll see where it says up pivot and stop pivot. So those are the two values that each of those dots are sitting at, and they represent an ATR percentage. And an ATR is just the average true range given the recent period. And while you're not going to have a chart that has my trend model, which turns from green to red for short and then back again to green for long, this sort of bypasses that and helps get in a little bit earlier, and also get you out of up move that is about to reverse and go the opposite direction. Now you may not have the shakeout indicator in the up down, but a lot of those features are included in these dots and are represented. So how do we get a dot in there? Well, if you've received my upload, here's what you would do. You would just basically get a chart. Now I recommend just putting it on the @ES, and in this case that's just a continuous chart, and I put 2 years on there. You could do 1 year if you don't have as much processing power, but 2 years is nice because it really gives you a broad section, especially if you want to go back and take a look at the different probabilities and possibilities that exist with it. This happens to be just the current chart, and it's actually trading currently. But what we want to do is right click it, and after you've uploaded it, and we've done a YouTube video on how to do that for analysis techniques that you've received through email, we would just put insert analysis technique, and in this case you want to click the show me tab, and you'll have one that'll pop in there. It'll say a pink dot show me, and we'll click that one, and if I scroll this up a fraction, you'll just click OK, and immediately this pops up. Now you may get it pop up in the general where it just says it's the show me and the study that it's on the 15-minute chart of the continuous futures. But the input section, this allows you to change the ATR, which is the average true range, and it allows you to change the amount of distance above the yellow, the amount of distance above the blue, as well as the gray above where price is, and then also where the number actually comes in relation to the actual chart. So oh, I didn't insert that now, so we gotta go back to it. We gotta go insert analysis, pink dot show me, click OK, and then I click OK at the bottom of this chart when I see it, and it will start calculating, and it does all the information that's needed. And what this has is the incorporation of quite a few of our different indicators, allowing us to just get the basic elements of what it's showing. And as you can see, that even if you had our trend model that had turned red, just before then it developed a yellow dot that suggested that the trend was about to flip to the dark side and move lower, and all we've seen is continuation of reshorting capabilities, quite a few of them in fact, through all of this downturn. So that's been quite effective in that particular range. If I scroll back, let's see if we can find ourselves a pink dot. Here's a pink dot right here. So this yellow dot came in. Pink dot lets you know that you're about to go the opposite direction. And it was a fairly decent move. I can go ahead and put a line right in there, kind of give you an idea of where we're at with these. And you could follow this all the way up to the next yellow dot. I recommend that after you've got a purple, that you then, once you get a yellow, I use it as a stop point, and you can set that ATR to whatever is comfortable as a percentage of where things are at. And in this case, if we wanted to look at an ATR, I happen to have that already in my analysis, so I would just click it and click over to status and close that, and it turned it on. And I'll show you what an ATR looks like as it calculates it over the chart, and that's just what this line is. And so at this particular point, the ATR happens to be 1.4. Well, do I want to risk 1.4 points from this particular move after being in down at 1386? I could. Or I could do the percentage, and we know the percentage I had set it there was about 30%, which is pretty tight. So 30% of the 1.4, and that's where it marked the other dot. So if I go ahead and change that, we need to click on a dot to do that. We would format pink dot. And so let's change that. Let's make it a full 1 ATR. And if we click down at the bottom here, it says OK. We click OK, and it'll recalculate that. And what this will do is it will change the spacing of that yellow dot, the top one as well as the bottom one, to give you a little bit better representation. So in this particular case, it's put the dot right about here. We can click the actual value, 1394.45. Well, we would go to 50 since that's what the options trade on the even. And even if I can't get it exactly there, we kind of know that we want to be at 1394.50, and you can put your stop right about that particular point, and you can adjust it accordingly. As different signals come in. In this case, probably would have been stopped out on that setup overall. Now, within this overall program, you also see these gray dots. What they typically represent is an immediate trend change within just the one bar. And so in this particular case, you're moving higher on green, you would expect it to dip lower. It may only last a bar or two, and these are kind of just for little quick hits. They can be very effective. You get an up bar in the green, you would look for the next bar to be down, and potentially 2 bars. That's about the maximum effective range for the little gray dots. What I tend to look for them is if you get a gray dot at the same time you get a pink dot, be a little bit more concerned that you're about to have a flip the opposite direction, particularly if you've had a nice little up move, get a pink dot, and then you also see a gray dot right over it. You would be like, oh, I might need to wait before I take that entry. Now if we scroll back a little bit, you can see here's what a blue dot looks like, and this number just represents how many there have been in this 2-year chart. And in this particular case, blue dot comes in here, and value set at that one. Again, this is only like 30% of that ATR number, so 1389. That's pretty tight. Typical traders will allow up to 2.5 ATRs for trading, but I left that adjustable so that you could just take a look at it and see the different capabilities, because you're not likely to have, unless you've already member and have our indicators, you're not likely to see these overall setups with the trend changes. So it's kind of fun to have this, but that's generally how you would incorporate this, and you can play around with some of the different features. This will last until the next update for it. But as always, continue to look for continuing updates on YouTube. Trade well.